divine madness. Did you know that Plato, one of the grandfathers of Western thought, believed that there were at least 4 types of divine madness, if we could learn to navigate them properly? We talk about this in Neurodiversity Gifts and unpack those 4 types of divine madness. And this is not to glorify psychosis, but to just give us a more nuanced and fine set of brushes through which to paint the human story. So we're not just smothering it over with these rollers, like these paint rollers, mental illness or prophecy. There's a fine line that needs to be navigated and painted. And so in the Emancipatory Perspectives on Madness, on page 33, which is also a good number, there's an elaboration on Plato. He's talking like through Socrates. Plato writes, "On the contrary, among our good things, one of the best comes through a delusion which is a divine gift. When old intergenerational wraths express themselves through an individual, he may free not only himself, but all of his relatives, by participating in healing ceremonies which will transform madness, mania, into mantika, the art of divination, by adding a T coming from the word historia, story, adding story to it. There can be this metamorphosis where this madness is transformed into prophecy." And so, I mean, there's a fine line. I messed that up. Like, I think we have to find Icarus's balance, another Greek myth that helps us to explore this, between not being so down on ourselves, oh, we're completely broken and a mess, and also not thinking, oh, like everything I think is divine prophecy, or even I'm God myself. So we need to learn how to navigate this balance. And so it talks about, if we can learn through community, through these tools, through these paradigms and conceptual frameworks, we can help not only ourselves, but all of our relatives too. It's sort of like in the Disney movie Frozen 2. Elsa starts to experience psychosis. She starts to hear voices. And the voices are a call to adventure, actually coming from within her, coming from her ancestry. She's got to go on this adventure to heal this epigenetic trauma that happened in her grandparents' generation. And in doing that, she's able to set her town free as well, because Arendelle is being ransacked by these nature spirits of earth and water and fire. And so when we have this transformation, it's not only inside us, but it affects the whole ecosystem. And well, what the Emancipatory Perspectives on Madness is saying here is that it's through historia or story that we're able to do this. That's the power of story. It's that elements that we don't currently have can be woven into our collective through people who think outside the box. I mean, what is our life except like an interwoven tapestry, this thread of different storylines that are all weaving, and there's like little gaps in the threads. And sometimes the neurodiverse can fall through the gaps, through whether it's our own epigenetics or whether it's circumstances. And through the picture, through the tapestry, we find all these other colored threads that haven't been woven into the story. Now, we could either get stuck down there. It kind of makes me think of the, Inside Out, where they get stuck in the unconscious mind. We could get stuck down in the unconscious mind, which is what Freud and Jung believed psychosis was. Or we could pick those threads and bring them back into the collective tapestry and weave them into this tapestry through the power of story and conceptual frameworks. Because we're missing, in this current reductionist, materialist, secular framework is missing a lot of the threads. Like, how are we supposed to make sense of the story when we don't believe that there's a spiritual reality? We don't believe that we're beings of meaning and purpose and connection. So those who have fallen into that mode of consciousness can help to bring up these threads and weave a new story. We're narrative beings. We're story-making beings. And words matter so much that matter is made from words. In the monotheistic traditions of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, God spoke reality into existence. And if we can speak these realities into existence by interweaving our stories into this larger collective, well, maybe that's how mania gets turned into mantika, through the power of story. So I think Plato was onto some stuff, I tell you what, and his cave allegory is deep. And guess what? That's also in here. And that's also what we explore in Neurodiversity Gifts. So maybe that'll be another video that's coming up. So what do you guys think? Like, how can we, through the power of story, bring in these other threads? And do you think that there's a fine line between genius and madness, or madness and prophecy? Do you think Plato is onto something?